We've known that this Warner Brothers sale has been looming for quite some time. And before the end of the year, it's expected that somehow, some way, in some shape or form, that Warner Brothers will be sold, either to Paramount, to Netflix, or to Comcast. And over the past 24 hours or so, they kind of had a deadline to get their next revised offers for this stuff to go forward. Warner Brothers Discovery looks for sweetened takeover bids today. And over the past day, we have had news about some of those, including Netflix, that Netflix has upped their bid and made a mostly cash bid for Warner Brothers. But the problem for Netflix is that a lot of people believe they're going to have a very hard time getting this deal to go through with this huge megalithic Netflix streamer buying the third biggest one and also a massive fucking studio. How much power, how much influence will that, when it comes to actually getting these things cleared by the government, the merger cleared by the government, will that stand in the way? It's a huge question for Netflix. And of course, with so many reports out there about Trump and the Ellisons, Trump and Paramount, the idea that that deal could get greenlit fairly quickly, it really feels like Paramount is the leader in the clubhouse. And reportedly, they have also submitted a new offer. Paramount submits 100% cash bid for Warner Brothers, partially backed by Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds. You remember that they vehemently denied the reports that were out there about potentially getting funded from somewhere in the Middle East, whether it was Saudi, whatever it was. And Variety kind of walked back some of that reporting. Well, now this is Bloomberg saying this again. We'll have to see how Paramount responds. But it's not all Middle Eastern money. If this were the case, a lot of it is just the Ellison Fund. But then apparently some potential Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds. And Comcast, I've yet to hear if they've made another offer, but truly it does feel, and I've said this from the beginning, and I certainly could have been wrong, but just the closer we get to it, it just feels like it's going to be Paramount.
Saudi Arabia is looking to become the 51st state, apparently. They want to own a lot of stuff, like have their hands in the cookie jar with a lot of stuff over here. That's for sure. You think with their backing, like they'll like that if Saudi has a little piece of this, do you think like it possibly could change like the way that they program movies as far as like the LGBTQ stuff or anything like that? Or no, it's just a business investment and we're just going to go from there.
I'm going to be real. I think it'll have less of an impact than we think it will.
Yeah.
Especially if they're just kind of a small partial owner in it, which is what this would likely be, according to these reports.
But is that like, because like, did you hear the reports that like, well, I don't know how true this is, but it was like Donald Trump that now we're going to get a Rush Hour 4. Like, what was all that?
True.
Yeah, that is true. That
yes.
Trump wanted a Rush Hour 4 and they said, we'll give it to you, Chief.
Well, like 2 days later, they made the announcement that Rush Hour 4 is in development. I've wanted another Lethal Weapon movie for so fucking long, dude. They're really too old for this shit, but that's part of what makes it cool.
I hear you.
But anyway,
we got Fat Man, which I approve.
But anyway, when it comes to this, it does feel like Paramount is the one that is the leader in the clubhouse. Netflix, not only does Netflix not want to buy all of Warner Brothers, but also it does feel like if they are the streamer that they are and they buy the third biggest streamer out there, which would be HBO Max, that it's just that's not going to be allowed to go through. Whereas Paramount, relatively small, they're probably like the fifth biggest streamer out there. They would be buying the third biggest streamer. It just seems like the wheels are slicked a little more for Paramount to go in. Comcast also doesn't want to buy all of Warner Brothers. They just want to buy pieces of it.
Do you know what pieces? I'm assuming
they want to buy the studio and the streaming. They want to buy the filmmaking and the streaming. They don't want to buy all the television shit. They don't want to buy the CNNs, the linear television companies, the TNTs, like all. They don't want anything to do with that stuff.
So they want the DC universe for sure.
Well, hold on. They want DC. They want Harry Potter. They want fucking Lord of the Rings shit. They want all of that, right? They have some very desirable IPs, no doubt. It's not just about DC. But it's Paramount's the only one, Paramount, who just put Barry Weiss in charge of CBS News. they're the only ones that want everything else. And apparently they might have big plans for CNN, which is scary to a lot of people in the media.
Yes.
The idea that someone who's viewed as Trump friendly, not necessarily Barry Weiss in general, but like the Ellisons, and the idea that CNN could completely and radically change as we know it.
Could you imagine CNN does a complete 180 and they try to turn into Fox News or something along those lines? I'd be shocked to see that in my lifetime. That's for sure. I think Comcast pulls it off, man. Like they could probably just merge some of the news stuff. CNBC and CNN.
They're not doing it though. That's why I said they are not interested. Comcast is not interested in all the other linear shit.
Well, then that's probably why they won't get it then. If you got this other company coming with like a suitcase full of cash saying, here we go, we'll just take it off your hands and you guys could go off into the sunset. Probably the way to go. Off into the sunset.
Indeed. We'll see. I do think that in the next couple of weeks, this is all going to get wrapped up. Maybe sooner rather than later.
I keep seeing that it was like before Christmas, it probably will be taken care of.